Which way would you like to go, mate?
Just carry a Holloway Road, please, sir. What's great about this London electric taxi company? What I love about it is you can just privately buy one, like a car. So
They're gonna do a van, aren't they?
Yeah.
And but you could buy one as a car.
Yeah, you and your missus could say today, "Oh, should we buy a 3 Series Estate for our family car?" And then go, "No,
do you know
let's
what?
buy
Let's have a
this."
taxi.
And you just buy it.
I will try suggesting that to my wife. See what she says.
I would absolutely love to have one.
tell you what.
I don't do a great deal of motorway work with the entire family.
I did say to my wife, "Oh, I'm borrowing one of those new taxis today, but just for the day." She's at work, and she was genuinely disappointed that she wasn't around to see it.
Was she?
Yeah.
It's because we're dealing with an important icon.
Well, that's the thing. Now, the guy from LEVC said to me that even when they were running round in camo with no taxi lights on the roof, just proving them out, they had people trying to get in because they knew it was a taxi.
Yeah.
And they had people offering opinions. Is that the new taxi? Can I have a look around it? Oh, I like that, or I don't like that. You know, it's like, I think, and I suppose the point is everybody feels like they have some sort of ownership of the black cab. The same way they do with the sort of red London bus or the Queen Mother, God rest her soul.
Well, yeah, it's true though, isn't it? Because you kind of, it's part of the furniture of this capital city. Yeah. And you live in. I used to live in London. You do live in London, and if you were a tourist, what do you take pictures of? What makes it look like London?
Well, yeah, but you almost, it's less that you take pictures of a taxi, that more that it's just going to be in a load of your photos.
Yeah.
So it's important it looks good, otherwise it'll make London look tatty. So I never really liked those Merc vans.
No. Do you know, because they look like private ambulances.
They look like vans, yeah.
They look like everyone's dead.
Oh, I hate those private ambulances because you know it just means there's a dead body in here.
Yeah.
Private ambulance. It's not that you go, oh, private ambulance, like private jet. No, there's no windows. It's a hearse.
Is there such thing as a private ambulance jet? Which would be, I'm going to charter a dead person jet.
It also gives a different meaning to the Tina Turner song Private Dancer, because it sort of suggests that she's writhing around on a corpse. But
does Tina Turner sing about, "I'll be your private ambulance, I'll drive you collect a cadaver,
I'll transport your body when it is suffering from rigor mortis.
I'll sympathetically take the body from A to B."
So, I think that it's important it looks good because it's got a duty to be background interest in tourists' photos.
Yeah.
And I read an interview with the designers, and they were talking about how difficult it was because you want like flat sides for maximum interior room, but cars with completely flat sides look weird.
Yeah.
Like a Fiat Multipla.
Yeah.
So they're using all these different tricks to try and stop it basically looking like a big brick, and to also give it that kind of recognisable face. And obviously they've done the job if people were going up to the prototypes and going, "Can I get in your taxi?" And they go, "It's not a taxi yet." So they've done a good job. I think it looks terrific.
I think it looks great. Well, and it feels great, and that's crucially it. It can look fine and be an absolute dog end, but actually I think it's so quiet and refined because I'm so used to getting massive vibration noise through the whole cabin from a diesel engine which feels like its engine mounts are made of bubble gum.
Yeah, well, there's two things about those old cabs I didn't like. Yeah, bubble gum engine mounts, and also like proper, I mean, like a sort of, the kind of, the engine is a spec from a van that they only sell in certain parts of North Africa. Because they couldn't get away with it. Is this the Ford?
What
were they? Well, there were
the Nissan
engines in the old. There was a Nissan one. There was one engine they put in the old cab, the TX4.
Yeah.
That was so weak that, in fact, not far from here, Highgate Hill, steep hill, going up to Highgate Village.
Yeah.
It couldn't get up there.
It couldn't.
If it had sort of 2 or 3 people in the back, apparently.
Seriously.
Caddy once told me, yeah, they were absolutely terrible.
And they were expensive.
Yeah, they're always expensive.
Because these things,
because it's such a niche car, they're never going to sell thousands of them.
No.
So, they're always a bit pricey. I guess the cabbies. That's a nice old Merc.
Was that a 280 or I think that was a 280 SE? now what is it?
LEVC.
LEVC.
London Electric Vehicle Company.
That's right, London Electric Vehicle Company.
See, not London Electric Taxi Company. Oh, what a giveaway!
Yeah.
Because they're going to do a van, and because they can sell you this as a private car, and because who knows what else.
I'm digging it,
What
Rich.
shenanigans.
We got 6 seats back here. We've got.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you'd be out and about in London town,
Yeah.
and you'd be with 5 mates, and you'd want to go on somewhere?
Yeah, like I'd be with Suggs, Danny. Who's the guy that Chris Evans loves? Danny.
Dyer.
No, not Danny Dyer. The writer guy, short, scraggy, older guy.
Danny Boyle.
No, and I was going to say Danny Glover, but he's the guy
I'm
from.
running out of Danny's here now.
Yeah, Baker.
Oh, Danny Baker.
Yeah, it would be like.
Oh, I see. Like you're hanging around with like real proper cockney.
Yeah, of course. It'd be Suggs, Danny Baker. It would be one of the horrible old witches from Birds of a Feather. Who are both called Dawn, aren't they? I can't remember.
I don't think either of them are called on. Hey, I can drive in bus lanes.
Yeah,
I've just remembered.
I love the
Look,
fact.
this isn't illegal.
No, it's not. I don't think.
No, the man told me.
You sure?
The man told me, the man from the taxi company, he said to me very specifically, do not pick up fare-paying passengers. That's illegal. But you can drive in bus lanes.
Brilliant. Are you going to tailgate a bus?
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Are you getting regen, by the way, on this
A
downhill?
little bit of regen.
Yeah, because you got 3 stages of.
I've stuck it in max regen.
You got
2.
you got a max regen. He's a sort of action hero.
But he conserves a lot of energy. When he's not kicking someone in the face, he just has a nice sit down.
He does. He does.
Gotcha. I can't help but talk in a slightly more cockney way when I'm driving this. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's made me.
Did you ever drive? Because this is a TX, which
Yeah.
I do wish they'd called it something else. Because the previous car, the 1997 onwards car,
I've messed up here.
was a TX4,
Yeah.
which sounds more modern than the TX.
I asked them about this because I said I thought it was the TXE, and he said no. That's just what cabbies are calling it.
Oh,
So
okay.
I thought, well, that's actually quite a good name. You should have gone with
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it's just a TX, isn't it? But then apparently, this has got Vista written on the front wing, and I thought that was a trim level, but no, that's its other name.
Is it? I thought that was a
Yeah.
trim level.
But it then has City E written on the grille and the back. It's like they need to get their naming in order.
Yeah, they do.
Why just call it the TXE?
Is that? Do you think that's a bit of Chinese ownership creeping in, where
I don't know.
they can't all agree on the name? Is that like the current UB40, and then there's Ali, Thingy, Astro, and Mickey from UB40? So there's UB40, and then the 3 people you only remember from UB40 are now on their own, but they can't call themselves UB40.
They're like the former Yugoslavia, aren't they? It's all splintered in a very ugly way.
It's a splinter group. There's no doubt. I used to cycle down there and try and set off the 30-mile-an-hour speed camera every morning.
You know, cars have a kind of body language sometimes. On the road, you see the way a car's being driven. It's sort of, you can read its body language.
Yeah.
And I sort of feel like I'm going to give myself away the way I drive this by not having cabbie body language as I drive it. There's something I'm doing wrong.
What is
I'm
cabbie?
driving like a civilian. I don't know. That's the thing.
You driving?
I don't know what the cues are to be able to observe them.
Are you driving one-handed or two? You're driving two.
I'm driving. Actually, I'm doing a bit of the old top of the wheel.
What about elbow on the door?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, with just the sort of finger and thumb
Do you know
tweak.
what as well? It sort of suggests maybe they thought about this because that is good elbow height.
Yeah.
Something else I noticed as well I like, driving position quite high.
Yes.
Like, not Range Rover high, but we're quite high.
Yeah.
Good, like that. View out. Good.
Really good.
Good.
A few people have criticised the mirrors being narrower.
They are narrower.
You know why?
No.
Because they've made the body wider, but they haven't made the overall width of the car any wider. If that makes
Okay,
sense.
Yeah. The
Because
mirrors
they-
are strangely
few-
small for the size of car.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
Is it like the way that German people choose
What we do in
spectacles?
bus lane.
Yeah. What are
See,
you
that's the
doing?
thing. I've given myself away as not a real cabbie.
I love the.
Instinctively dive for the bus lane. Gotcha.
I can hear the electric motor, which is under the back seat.
Can you?
Yeah, because rear-wheel drive, rear engine
Might give
does.
it a little
It's
tickle.
it's rear motored. but it has obviously the Jenny under the bonnet at the front.
But that is purely a generator, isn't it?
It's a range extender, so that is a mule.
It's not connected to the wheels, driving wheels.
No.
It's just like having a little generator there.
Yeah.
And it's what, 3-cylinder 1.5?
Yes. Which is a do you say Geely or Geely?
I say Geely, I think.
I can't decide what to say.
Geely Hawaii.
I think it is Geely. I think it is Geely. You're stepping on it, aren't you? You're enjoying that.
Look at this. What luxury.
Yeah, from memory, the high voltage control system is underneath this floor where my feet are.
Yeah.
All the batteries are under your arse and under this what should be a passenger seat, but is actually where the luggage goes.
Yeah, because I noticed the floor in there is sort of a bit higher. You think there's like a sort of sandwich floor thing going on.
Yeah, and it's durable, hard plastic, so that you can throw flight cases in there and airport related shizzle.
Yeah, because I looked in the boot and there's a spare tyre and a charging cable and not really any room for
and that's it.
else. Yeah.
There's a pleasant amount of Volvo going on where you are, isn't there?
I was just going to say, so exterior design, love it. Interior design, I mean, in a way, it's not going to win any awards for being sort of stylish, but I quite like that it's functional. It's a working vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then but it is actually Volvo bits and pieces. It's a Volvo steering wheel, but made out of less fancy plastic.
Yes.
No leather rim, it's just plastic.
Yeah.
Volvo stalks,
yeah,
they're good.
Volvo gear shifter.
Volvo little twisty engine start thing.
Yes.
And handbrake, but then set into this really basic, hardly textured plastic. It does look like it'll scratch up a little bit, but well, I guess cabbies don't mind that. They just don't want it to break.
You got more leg room. You got more leg room than the previous. The previous car was so bad at pedal misalignment with steering wheel, and the seat wouldn't go back. Like I genuinely felt sorry for any cabbie that was over 5'9".
I'd heard that it was really squashed up there. I'll be honest. I could go back a little bit more, but I'm not uncomfortable.
But this is a vast improvement on the previous car, Rich.
It's
worryingly.
Well, the thing is, it's so nice and quiet because it's electric.
Yeah.
It's so I guess at some point, if you're running low on electricity, which we're not,
yeah,
the old range extender will kick in. But I don't imagine it makes a racket, and it's certainly not diesely racket because it's a petrol engine. So
petrol, 3-pot, and they developed that engine to be used in this car first. And I think it's going to appear in other Geely products imminently. In fact, it might be in a Volvo.
Yeah, it's going into Volvos, isn't it?
Which means it must be an engine they've put their back into, because you wouldn't put it into a Volvo if it was rubbish.
No, it can't be CAC.
No,
because Volvo standards of refinement and shit are going to be much higher. But I love that running on as we are on electric power.
Yeah.
Got that usual sort of smoothness, quietness, and then that instant torque, so you can have it.
Yeah.
And the PR man from the taxi place,
LEVC.
He would say this obviously, but he did say that their feedback, one of the bits of feedback they've had from cabbies so far, is that they, at the end of a shift, they feel less tired.
Yeah.
Which I can believe, because having this clattery noise all day, that's actually sort of exhausting. And you've got an electric kind of car. I used to have an electric car. You know how relaxing they are, particularly in bad traffic. I'm
totally with you, but also there is the fact that the outgoing cab didn't even have stop start. And if you think if there was an invention that should have been implemented on a car instantly, surely it would have been a diesel London cab needing stop start, because they're just wasting money and the smell is gross.
So that's the thing. On the one hand, I think cabbies probably would go, "Oh God, something else to go wrong. I don't like the complexity."
Yeah.
But if you said to them, "This will save you money," I suspect that is one of their biggest priorities. So.
Yeah.
And this is what they claim for this, that depending on how many miles you do a week as a cabbie, you could be saving up to 120 quid on fuel.
Yeah.
That's actually quite a lot of money in your back pocket.
Well, it is, and it totally does add up, and it depends on, you could be clever and not need the range extender for days and days and days.
Well,
the Jenny might not. It depends if you charge during a shift. It depends if you do Heathrow runs, all those things.
We are at the moment we're not quite full of electricity. We're about 5/6, and it's showing 51 miles of electric range.
And I bet you,
if you're just tooling around London, that'll probably do you, won't it?
That's the thing. The average speed of where we're travelling around today is 8 to 10 miles an hour.
And that's where electric cars are really
it's where and if I said to you now, where are we? We're on the Holloway Road now, coming up to Highbury Corner.
Yeah.
If I said to you now, take me to Ealing, in miles.
What, this time?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you some sort of hacking idiot. But if you did that in terms of miles, it's probably only like 10 miles.
Yeah.
But yet it might take you an hour and a half. The amount of recoup you get on the regen braking, I found that you lose a mile, you win a mile. You lose a mile, you win a mile.
Yeah.
And it's really quite enjoyable because you can go, I'm not really losing any power at all. I feel there's a bit of smugness going on there, I find. But of course it's aluminum, Richard, as well.
Aluminum?
This is a bonded, riveted construction, like a Jaguar.
How much do you think is Volvo underneath? Is this an XC90, a stretched XC90 underneath?
It's a good question. They didn't tell me how much Volvo was under the skin, but what they did say is that it shares no components with the outgoing car.
Right.
None at all.
I remember a spy photo of a weirdly stretched XC90, like the back wheels had been moved right to the end of the car, so it looked really mutated, and it had weights on the roof, which they do sometimes to sort of replicate the centre of gravity of whatever the car is going to become when they make a mule. And it was packed somewhere and no one could figure out what it was, and I think that the story was, is Volvo planning like an even bigger SUV? And it was only later it came to light that it was actually a mule for this.
For this.
So I wonder...
You think the chassis could be related to the XC90?
Or was it just a convenient set of panels to clothe the chassis mule? I don't know.
They didn't... Certainly, Eddie, the sort of head engineer chap who I've been talking to about this car, who's Australian, and he's been living and breathing black cab life for about the last 3 years.
Is he completely baffled as to why London doesn't want a long wheelbase Commodore?
Yeah,
that's a taxi, mate.
He is a massive petrol head.
Is he?
And but we had a few chats about the design of this car, and he said that doing this project over the last couple of years has really helped to broaden his horizons. As I suspect a lot of the established taxi drivers have got in it and trialled it, and I spoke to a couple of really dyed-in-the-wall, knowledge-ridden black cabbies who got out of their pretty flawed CAC TX4 and got into one of these. I think they give them to them for a week or two.
Right.
To really taste it, and they said just the silence, the relaxation. You've got this massive panoramic roof here. It is slightly taller and a slightly broader body than the outgoing car, but like I said before, the narrower wing mirrors mean its overall width is the same.
You bring this up.
Is
the
it
panoramic roof? Brilliant in the back there. Also standard.
Yeah. Standard.
The Wi-Fi. It's got Wi-Fi on the back.
Yeah. Standard.
All of
about
the nice
117 USB charging ports.
117.
Can't even count them all.
It's incredible. But they said that they wanted all the nice bits for people in the back to be standard. So although there is a range and you can spend more to get more, all you're getting is more for you as the driver. The passenger, their philosophy behind this apparently was that the passenger should always have the nice stuff. So even the base model comes with Wi-Fi glass roof, a million USB sockets.
What I love is that they haven't mucked it up, and I hope that in a way this is kind of how you want the Land Rover Defender, the next gen one, to almost be interpreted. Do you know what I mean?
Point.
Because there's that weight.
Skillful reinterpretation that sort of keeps things you want, which is the look.
Yeah.
But then doesn't get hung up on all of the sort of khaki old-fashioned bits and goes, no, it's going to be modern. It's going to work.
But it still has to do the job it's set out to do.
But it has a job to do. That's what I do like about this, and I like this very functional interior. It's a working thing.
It is, yeah. Have you seen
There's not really room for mucking about.
Have you seen the cubby holes above your head?
Yes.
Now that's full magazine, old school. How many?
The thing is, it sort of occurs to me, there's a little sort of fabricy bit at the front, but if you put something in there like your phone, wouldn't it just zoom out and hit you on the head?
It'll hit you exactly on the forehead.
But I'm sure you could put paperwork and shizzle in there.
If it was pre-internet, think about how many mags and books you'd stuff up there.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could get a paperback book in there, couldn't you, if you wanted to, which might be of use.
A couple of Andy McNabs.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
I had him in the back of here once, you know. I mean, obviously his face was pixelated, but I knew it was him.
This is one of those cars. This is one of the few times that you test a car and you actually want stop-start traffic. You want to be in the thick of the congestion.
Normally, I borrow a car. I think, oh well, I better put aside some time to go off into the countryside and really door handle it for a bit.
Yeah.
And with this, I cannot think of a more irrelevant exercise than trying to test its handling.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it steers and it stops and it sort of seems to work. And this brings me back to the ride, because from up here, the ride to me feels pretty good.
The ride. I mean, we're on quite a pothole-ridden, sunken manholey road.
Yeah.
And I have to say, because I'm facing backwards and I'm kind of looking at you a lot, although I don't get travel sick normally, I remember from being in black cabs that past, this is the worst seat to be in.
Yes.
Because you can start to feel a little queasy.
Yeah.
And I don't mean if you're hungover and you're just craving an almond croissant. And I feel absolutely fine. It's not crashy at all.
Not crashy, definitely not crashy.
And while we're chatting, I'm recharging 3 things through USB ports. 3 separate USB ports.
Using my electricity.
Yeah, you're going to charge me for that?
Yeah.
He loves it, though. He just smiled.
Did he?
He's looking at the cab up and down. He really looked at that. He had a really good up-down smile. He cracked a little smile.
This is extraordinary that this cab, not only brings a fresh new look to the city streets of London, but it also actually brings a little bit of happiness. People like it.